What's going on, everyone? It's your boy back with you again for another issue of Tommy Reed's X-Men. Here I am rocking my Giants colors as today is opening day for Major League Baseball. Not sure how I feel about this season going on. I just hope everyone stays safe, nobody gets sick, and everyone has a good time bringing baseball back. But, in the year of the coronavirus, let's just hope everyone stays safe playing out there on the field, and go Giants. We start with X-Men number 7. We're going to kick it off like we always do, written in September 1964 by Stan Lee with artwork again by the great Jack Kirby. This one is called The Return of the Blob, so you know who's coming back for this one. They give you the spoilers right there in the title. We kick it off like we always do at the mansion, and the X-Men are actually graduating. So our first panel is them in the cap and gown, posing for a picture with Charles. I don't really know about the curriculum he's teaching, aside from learning their mutant powers. Is he doing math, history? Is he their Mr. Feeney? I don't know, but it kind of seems like he is, because there's a big difference between the age groups of the X-Men as well. Like Beast is 18, Iceman's 15 or 16, yet they're graduating at the same time, and Hank's supposed to be the genius. I don't know, but Charles he teaches them all he can, and that's basically what he tells them right after the graduation picture. He's like, well, there's nothing else I could teach you guys. You've learned it all in these 7 issues and your year and change with me. But yeah. And then the X-Men get ready to celebrate, and we cut to the Brotherhood as Mastermind tries to woo Wanda. What? Woo? Anyway, he says that directly, like, I'm going to try to woo her. And she spurns his advances, and he tells her, I care about you in a different way than Magneto does. And knowing what I know now about Magneto and the relationship that he has with Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, that I'm sure y'all know, but we haven't been revealed in the issues that I'm covering sequentially here, I hope he likes her in a different way than Magneto likes her, because otherwise it'd be weird. But the X-Men, back to the mansion. Everybody's doing their own separate thing. And Charles asked Scott to come with him to the west wing of the mansion, which apparently up until now had been off limits. So Scott's like, dang, this is like Belle walking into the Beast's book room. And Charles shows him what he calls an extrasensory perceptor, ESP, and he decides to give it the name Cerebro. So, trivia buffs, September 1964, X-Men number 7, the first time we get a shout out to Cerebro, which becomes a big part of the X-Men lore. Now, he shows him this because he tells him, he previously told him there's nothing else I could teach you, but now he's telling him, I want you to officially become the leader of the X-Men. And Cyclops is like, awesome. And then the next day, literally the next day, he wakes up. The X-Men wake up, and Charles is gone. Like, he just takes off. And they don't know where he goes. But Scott, I guess he must have telepathically told him because he was the leader. Or Charles told him, because Scott becomes the professor. And I'm not trying to say, like, he takes his job and stuff. Like, when the X-Men go into Charles's office, Scott's in there at his desk wearing the same suit that the professor always wears. He wears a green pinstripe suit. And now Scott's trying to straight up be the professor. It's crazy because, like, he just tried to take on the identity of the professor. I'm surprised he didn't shave his head. But he didn't, thankfully. He kept his glasses on, too, because he didn't want to kill nobody. The X-Men decide to go celebrate, but Scott, being he's a serious professor now, decides not to go. Jean decides to stay back kind of, too. And we start to see the inklings that Jean kind of has feelings for Scott, which Angel does not like. So he hits us with this issue's Jean's hot. He says, God, I wish Jean liked me the way she likes Scott. But she don't, unfortunately for you, Warren. Mr. Warrington III. Then we cut, right from the X-Men, they go do their thing. We cut to Magneto, who for some reason is just strolling around a carnival. And he's doing this in his Magneto outfit. It's not like he switched to a tie suit like they wore back in the day. Not even like a juicy tracksuit. Nothing like that. he's straight up wearing his Magneto costume with cape and all that, walking around looking for where the candied apples are. Oh, cotton candy, you know, I might treat myself. I've been doing a lot of scheming lately, and you know what, I can afford it, so I'm gonna get 2 cotton candies. But before he can do that, before he can enjoy deep fried pickles and every other carnival treat that's bad for you, that is great, he runs into the Blob. So he just happens to be at the carnival where the Blob and the circus are at. So he tries to use what he calls magnetic telepathy to read Blob's mind. Now, Magneto's powers are all over the board here. As long as they throw magnetic in front of it, it seems to be okay. But, yeah, so he runs into the Blob, and he tries to read his mind. That doesn't work because Magneto's not psychic. I don't know what he's thinking. So he ends up fighting with the Blob. And the Blob and him tussle a little bit, and then Magneto hits him so hard with his magnet, you know, Hadouken. He hits him with this magnetic fireball so hard. He didn't use a fireball, but, you know, just for comedic purposes, he's using his Street Fighter moves. Shout out Marvel vs. Capcom. Anyway, he hits him so hard that he knocks out the mental blocks that Charles put on the Blob way back in X-Men number 3. So suddenly the Blob remembers all the problems he had with the X-Men. How they tried to stop him from leaving the mansion, how he fought with the circus people, and how Charles kind of mind-wiped him. Yeah, he did that. He mind-wiped him, and he went about his business. So now he's got a grudge with the X-Men. And Magneto's like, yo, I got a grudge with the X-Men. And he's like, for real? And he's like, oh, let's go get the X-Men. And Magneto's like, here's what we could do better. We could grab the other people in the Brotherhood. I'm going to call them up because they got a line that we can reach them at. And we're going to take over a random factory. And then we'll call out the X-Men. And Blob's like, why can't we just go to the mansion? I know where they're at. It's like 20 minutes from here. He goes, we're going to take over a factory. And then we're going to call out the X-Men. He's like, all right, I guess you calling the shot, you paying the checks. And then, so they call out the X-Men, and the X-Men come a-running, and, you know, forget the element of surprise, because the X-Men show up to fight the Brotherhood and the Blob, who ain't an official member yet, in a bright red helicopter that I guess they just had lying around from Papa Chuck's reserve, where he had the pirate ship docked somewhere, and he's got the helicopter that's painted bright red for some reason. So forget the element of surprise. We're just going to come up here and let you know what we're going to do, and that's win the day. We're going to win the day. So they always send Angel out first. Angel's their scout. Angel's the guy who gets beat up first, and then they can all jump in. And that's what happens. He goes and attacks the Blob first because that went so well for him the last time. But Blob is like, and I paraphrase, he like, Papa Chuck ain't here to save you, son. And Angel's like, whoa. See, he's flying. And then he gets knocked. Now, the Blob's doing fine. He handles Beast. He handles Angel with the quickness. They get hands quick, and they're down. Jean tries to help him. She feels a little faint. Everybody's joining in the battle. They're basically 5-on-1. They're handling Blob, but he's doing okay. He's handling himself. This issue, Cyclops and Quicksilver do not fight off and have a little banter. I guess since he's taking himself seriously, he can't hang out with his boys no more. So Magneto wants to feel useful because it's not enough to win the day. He's got to win the day. So he decides to shoot some missiles that he lifts, you guessed it, magnetically. Now psychically, magnetically, he lifts them and he shoots the missiles at the X-Men and the Blob. And the other Brotherhood are like, Mags, why are you doing this if you just recruited this guy? Isn't that going to kill him? He's like, he got it. He's got it. So the Blob actually does get it. He gets shot with all the missiles, and he just takes it. Now, if you ever seen that clip of a guy getting hit, like a circus guy getting hit with a cannonball, I'm sure that's what it was like for the Blob, and that's kind of what they drew it like. And the Blob takes it, and he's like, what's your deal, man? I thought we were working together. And, you know, I think Magneto's awesome. He's one of my favorite X-Men, to be honest with you. But if he had just a wee bit of patience, he would have so much better a team. He'd have Namor on his team. He'd have Blob on his team. Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, and then to a lesser extent Mastermind and Toad, who are just there for cannon fodder. And, but no. He's awesome, but he's got no patience. Now, I know some of you watching this who know me in personal life are probably like, dude, that's you. But, whatever. So Magneto and the Brotherhood decide to escape because now Blob's pissed off at them too. So they escape in the Magnacar. Again, I don't know where Magneto's finding these toys, but they are incredible. His payroll, I don't know what he's paying the Brotherhood, but, they decide to get off in the Magnacar. And the Magnacar is kind of drawn the same way that the Fantastic Four's car is. There's a bunch of different compartments. I'm sure if they were making toys back then, it would have been an awesome toy. It'd be an awesome toy now. Toy companies make the Magnacar. Now Blob sees them escape without him. And rather than keep fighting the X-Men, he's like, you know what? And this is kind of the same thing Namor said last issue. So you know what? You guys got your issues, man. Just leave me alone. It's the second time y'all harass me. I'm going back to the carnival. I'm going to enjoy my cotton candy. I'm going to enjoy my fried stuff. And just leave me the heck alone. I'm going back to my circus. Let me do me. And the X-Men are like, alright, well, I guess we'll fight another day because, this ain't the last we've seen of him. And then they kind of let him go. They let him go, and then they won the day. But they live to fight another day, I guess. But my final thoughts, I don't know where I was going with that rant, but my final thoughts, I'm going to give this issue about an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed the battle that went on in the issue, and the stuff with Scott trying to beat Charles was funny to me. I've taken over jobs for other people, like the manager before me left and now I'm the manager. And I didn't dress like the previous person just to show that I was boss or something like that. I kept dressing like me. If he's wearing a pinstripe suit, I didn't throw on the same pinstripe suit. It's not like he had one himself. That was Charles's suit that he got out of his closet. The one he didn't pack for wherever he went, which we'll find out in a issue later on. So that part was funny to me. Great battle, 8 out of 10. This has been Tommy Reed's X-Men. Come back with us for another issue. Thank you for checking me out. If you like what you see, like and subscribe down below. If you don't, like and subscribe and tell me what I need to work on. But yeah, like and subscribe down there. Go.